Security camera footage. Denver International Airport. Terminal B. German Shepherd police dog suddenly breaks formation, lunges toward a baby stroller. Parents scream. Officers freeze. What you're about to witness will chill you to the bone. A routine security patrol, an ordinary family, and a police dog who knew something no human could possibly detect. What happened next saved a life and exposed a conspiracy that reached the highest levels of airport security. Like this video right now, and comment with your city so the algorithm shows this to everyone who needs to see it. Officer Marcus Chen had worked with Rex for 3 years. The German Shepherd had never broken protocol, not once. But at 2:47 p.m. on that Tuesday afternoon, Rex ripped his leash from Marcus's hand and charged directly at the young couple pushing a stroller through the security checkpoint. The mother screamed. Her husband stepped in front of the stroller protectively. But Rex wasn't attacking. He was diving into the stroller, his massive body covering the infant completely. "Rex, stand down!" Marcus shouted, sprinting toward the scene. But when Marcus reached the stroller and pulled Rex back, he saw something that made his blood run cold. The baby wasn't breathing. The infant's lips were turning blue. But there was something else. Something Rex had detected that the parents hadn't noticed yet. Something that would turn this medical emergency into a criminal investigation. The mother, Sarah Mitchell, 28, was returning from visiting her sister in California. Her husband, David, had picked them up. Their daughter, Emma, was 6 months old, a normal family, or so it seemed. Rex had been trained in explosive detection, drug interdiction, and search and rescue. But he'd also been cross-trained in medical alert. He could detect diabetic shock, seizures, and cardiac distress. Marcus performed CPR on baby Emma while his partner called for medical assistance. Within 90 seconds, the baby gasped and started breathing again. "Thank God," Sarah sobbed, reaching for her daughter. "She must have stopped breathing in her sleep. We didn't even notice." But Marcus wasn't listening anymore. He was watching Rex. The dog wasn't relaxing. He was still on high alert, circling the stroller, sniffing frantically at the baby's blanket, the diaper bag, the stroller frame itself. Then Rex sat, hard, fast, the signal for a positive detection. Marcus's heart rate spiked. "Ma'am, I need you to step back from the stroller." "What? Why?" David Mitchell moved forward aggressively. "You just saved our daughter's life and now you're treating us like criminals?" Marcus reached into the diaper bag. His fingers touched something that shouldn't be there. When he pulled it out, 3 other officers immediately drew their weapons. Because what Rex had detected wasn't just a medical emergency. It was a package, sealed, hidden beneath the diapers. And the scanner showed it contained something far more dangerous than anyone at that airport could have imagined. The package was small, roughly the size of a deck of cards, wrapped in lead-lined material to avoid X-ray detection. Marcus's hands trembled as he held it. "What is that?" Sarah's voice was shrill with panic. "I've never seen that before. Someone must have put it in there." David grabbed his wife's arm. "Don't say anything. We need a lawyer. You need to start talking right now," Marcus said coldly. "Because this dog just saved your daughter's life, and now he's telling me someone used your baby as a drug mule." Airport Security Supervisor Janet Rodriguez arrived with 4 additional officers. She took one look at the package, and her face went white. "That's not drugs," Janet whispered. She'd worked airport security for 20 years. She'd seen everything. But this? That's a bioweapon transport container. The terminal erupted into controlled chaos. TSA agents began evacuating the area. Hazmat teams were scrambled. The CDC was notified, and the FBI was already on their way. But that wasn't the worst part. Sarah Mitchell was crying hysterically. "I swear to God, I don't know how that got there. Someone must have planted it." Janet pulled Marcus aside. "Run their names. Full background check. Now." 60 seconds later, the results came back. Sarah and David Mitchell didn't exist. Not in any database. Not in any system. Their passports were forgeries. Their driver's licenses were fakes. Even their marriage certificate was fraudulent. The people holding that baby weren't who they claimed to be. And baby Emma? According to hospital records, she'd been reported missing from a Phoenix maternity ward 3 weeks ago. You kidnapped that child. Marcus's voice was ice. And you used her to smuggle a bioweapon through airport security. No, Sarah lunged forward. You don't understand. They made us do this. They have our real daughter. They said if we didn't... Shut up, David hissed. But it was too late. The truth was spilling out now. Rex sat between Marcus and the suspects, his eyes locked on David Mitchell. The dog's hackles were raised, he knew. This man was dangerous. FBI agent Carmen Vasquez arrived within 12 minutes. She took one look at the bioweapon container and immediately made a phone call. When she hung up, her expression was grim. This is the 4th package we've intercepted in 3 weeks, she said quietly to Marcus, all transported by seemingly normal families with infants, all at different airports. We're dealing with a trafficking ring that's using stolen babies to move biological weapons across the country. Marcus felt sick. Why babies? Because no one suspects a family with an infant. Security gives them priority screening, less invasive checks. And if the baby cries or fusses, everyone assumes it's just a fussy baby, not a medical emergency caused by sedatives. Rex whined. He was still staring at David Mitchell. That's when Marcus noticed it. David's right. And was slowly moving toward his jacket pocket. Marcus's training kicked in. Hands where I can see them, now. But David moved faster. He pulled something from his pocket, not a gun, something worse, a phone, and he pressed one button before Marcus could tackle him. Somewhere in that airport something had just been activated, and they had less than an hour to find it before hundreds of people died. The airport went into immediate lockdown, all flights grounded, all passengers detained, but the terminal was massive. Over 400,000 square feet, 30 gates, thousands of people. Agent Vasquez grabbed David Mitchell by his collar. What did you activate? He smiled. You'll find out soon enough. We need bomb detection units, Janet said. Every K-9 team in the state. There's no time, Marcus interrupted. Rex can do this. He's trained for explosives and biologicals. If there's another package in this terminal, he'll find it. But the terminal security chief, a bureaucrat named Donald Pratt, stepped forward. Absolutely not. This dog has already broken protocol once today. We need proper procedure. Systematic sweeps. This requires a dog who's already proven he can detect these packages. Marcus shot back. Rex was already moving. He didn't wait for permission. The German Shepherd bolted toward the North Concourse, pulling Marcus behind him. Stop that dog, Pratt shouted. But Agent Vasquez held up her hand. Let him work. Rex moved through the terminal like he was following an invisible trail. Past Gate B7, past the Hudson News, past the Starbucks. He was tracking something. A scent? A chemical signature? Marcus ran to keep up, his heart pounding. Rex had never been wrong, not once in 3 years. Rex stopped abruptly at Gate B14. He sat. The signal. Another package was here. But when Marcus looked around the gate area, his stomach dropped. There were 47 passengers waiting to board. Families, children, elderly couples, and somewhere among them was someone carrying another bioweapon. Someone who looked completely innocent. Someone who had no idea they were about to become a mass murderer. Nobody moves, Agent Vasquez shouted, drawing her weapon. This is the FBI. Everyone stay exactly where you are. Panic rippled through the crowd. Parents grabbed their children. Business travelers looked up from their phones in confusion. Rex moved through the passengers slowly, methodically. His nose worked the air. He passed an elderly woman with a rolling suitcase, a businessman with a laptop bag, a young mother with... Rex lunged toward a woman holding a sleeping infant in a baby carrier. No, please! The woman backed away, clutching the baby. Don't hurt us! But Rex wasn't attacking. He was sniffing the baby's carrier. And then he sat. Marcus felt like he'd been punched in the gut. Another stolen baby. Another bioweapon package. Agent Vasquez carefully approached the woman. Ma'am, I need you to give me that baby carrier. Right now. What? Why? What's happening? The woman was crying. This is my daughter. But when Vasquez checked the baby's carrier, she found it. Another lead-lined package. Hidden in a false bottom. The woman collapsed to her knees. Oh my God. Oh my God. A man at the coffee shop offered to watch my stuff while I went to the bathroom. He must have. David Mitchell, still in handcuffs 20 yards away, started laughing. You found two. Congratulations. How many more do you think there are? Agent Vasquez grabbed her radio. We need a full terminal sweep, every gate, every bathroom, every restaurant. There could be dozens of these packages. And according to the forensics team, each one contains a modified anthrax strain. If even one of these containers is opened, everyone in this terminal has approximately 12 hours to live. We're not just looking for packages anymore. We're looking for a coordinated terrorist attack, and the clock is already ticking. Rex was exhausted, but refused to stop. He'd been working non-stop for 90 minutes. He'd found two more packages, Gate C3, Gate D9, different mules, different fake families. None of them knew they were carrying bioweapons. All of them had been approached by someone who'd slipped the packages into their baby gear. Marcus knelt beside his partner. You're saving lives, boy. Keep going. But Rex was slowing down. Even the best detection dogs had limits. The airport was too big, too many scents, too much ground to cover. Agent Vasquez pulled Marcus aside. We've identified the common denominator. All the mules flew in from Phoenix. Same airline, same day. We're checking passenger manifest now. That's not going to help us find the packages already here, Marcus said. No, but it's going to tell us who's running this operation. Vasquez's phone rang. She answered, listened for 10 seconds, and her face went gray. What? Marcus demanded. The Phoenix connection. We ran the surveillance footage from Phoenix Sky Harbor, cross-referenced with passenger manifests. Facial recognition hit on someone who was near every single mule family before they boarded. Who? Vasquez turned her phone screen toward Marcus. He stared at the surveillance photo in disbelief. It was Donald Pratt, the terminal security chief, the man who'd tried to stop Rex from searching, the man who had access to every security system in the airport, the man who could move through restricted areas without question, the man who was, at that very moment, standing 30 feet away, watching them, and now reaching for his radio, about to warn his accomplices that they'd been compromised, about to trigger every bioweapon package in the terminal simultaneously. Before we continue with what happened next, take 2 seconds to hit that subscribe button. This story gets even more intense, and you don't want to miss a single detail of how this hero dog stopped the biggest bioterror attack in U.S. history. Pratt, freeze! Vasquez drew her weapon, but Pratt was already moving. He sprinted toward the emergency exit, his radio in his hand. Marcus released Rex's leash. Get him! The German Shepherd exploded into motion. Pratt crashed through the emergency door, triggering alarms, but Rex was faster. The dog tackled Pratt in the stairwell, his jaws clamping down on the man's forearm. The radio clattered down the concrete steps. When they hauled Pratt back into the terminal, he was smiling through his pain. You're too late. The packages are set to activate automatically at 6 p.m. You'll never find them all in time. Vasquez checked her watch. 5:17 p.m., 43 minutes. How many packages? Marcus demanded. How many did you plant? Pratt just laughed. Enough. More than your dog can find, more than your teams can locate. This terminal is going to become a tomb, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Agent Vasquez made a decision. Evacuate. Everyone. Now. Clear the entire terminal. But Marcus shook his head. That's what he wants. Panic. Chaos. People running. That's when the real attack happens. When security breaks down. He was right. Pratt's smile widened. That's when Rex started barking. Sharp. Urgent. Different from his usual alerts. Marcus had heard this bark only twice before. Both times, it meant immediate danger. Life or death danger. Rex wasn't detecting another package. He was detecting something worse. The dog spun toward the main terminal corridor and his bark became frantic. Someone was approaching. Someone carrying an active bioweapon. Someone who was about to release it into the ventilation system. And they had less than 60 seconds to stop them. Rex charged down the corridor. Marcus followed, his service weapon drawn. Agent Vasquez was screaming into her radio for backup. The figure was dressed in a maintenance uniform, moving casually, pushing a cleaning cart. But Rex knew. The dog could smell the deadly contents hidden inside that cart. "Stop, federal agent!" Vasquez shouted. The maintenance worker broke into a run. The cart tipped over. Packages spilled across the floor. Not lead-lined containers. These were different. Glass vials. Already activated. Already releasing their contents into the air. Gas masks. Now! Marcus grabbed Rex and ran in the opposite direction. But Rex fought against him. The dog was trying to go toward the threat, not away from it. "Rex, no, come!" But the German Shepherd tore free. He ran directly toward the spreading gas, and Marcus suddenly understood why. The maintenance worker was still there, collapsed, overcome by his own bioweapon. But he was still alive, still breathing. Rex grabbed the man's uniform collar in his teeth and dragged him away from the gas cloud. The dog's eyes were streaming, his lungs were burning, but he didn't let go. Marcus pulled on his gas mask and ran back in. He grabbed Rex and the suspect, hauling them both to safety as hazmat teams flooded the area with neutralizing foam. Rex collapsed in Marcus's arms. The dog was breathing, but barely. His tongue lolled. His eyes rolled back.
No. No. Stay with me, boy.
Marcus cradled his partner. "We need a vet. Now." Emergency medical teams rushed over. They administered oxygen, atropine, activated charcoal. But Rex wasn't responding. The dog had been exposed to a lethal dose of the modified anthrax. Even with treatment, his chances were slim. But while Rex lay dying, he'd given them the final piece they needed. The maintenance worker was talking, confessing everything. The attack wasn't just this terminal. It was simultaneous attacks at 12 major airports across the country, all set to activate at 6 p.m. And because Rex had stopped this one early, they now had the deactivation codes. The dog's sacrifice was about to save thousands of lives, if he could just hold on long enough to see it. The veterinary team worked frantically. They intubated Rex, pumped his stomach, administered experimental antitoxins. For 12 agonizing minutes, the German Shepherd's heart stopped twice. But at 5:53 p.m., Rex's eyes opened. Marcus sobbed. "That's my boy. That's my good boy." Meanwhile, FBI teams across the country were using the information from Denver to stop attacks in New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Atlanta, and 7 other cities. Over 40 suspects were arrested simultaneously. Hundreds of bioweapon packages were neutralized. Donald Pratt and his network had been planning this attack for 3 years. They'd infiltrated airport security at the highest levels. They'd recruited dozens of operatives. They'd stolen babies from hospitals to use as unwitting mules. And one police dog had unraveled the entire conspiracy.
"I don't understand," Marcus said to Agent Vasquez later that night. "How did Rex know? How did he detect the packages when they were lead-lined specifically to avoid detection?"
Vasquez smiled. "We ran tests. The lead lining blocked X-rays, but it couldn't block the chemical signature of the sedatives they were giving the babies to keep them quiet. Rex wasn't detecting the bioweapons. He was detecting the drugged infants. He was trained in medical. Alert. He knew those babies were in distress, and by saving them, he found the weapons." Marcus looked down at Rex, now resting on a veterinary gurney with an oxygen mask and 4 lines. "You weren't following orders. You were following your heart." Donald Pratt was processed into federal custody. He'd face terrorism charges, life imprisonment without parole. His network was dismantled. The stolen babies were reunited with their families, but before he was taken away, Pratt asked to see Rex one last time. "I need to understand," Pratt said quietly. "We planned this for 3 years. We accounted for every variable, every contingency. How did one dog destroy everything?" Marcus stood between Pratt and his partner. "Because you forgot one thing. Dogs don't care about your plans. Dogs don't care about your ideology. Dogs care about protecting the innocent, and that's something you'll never understand." As Pratt was led away, Agent Vasquez approached Marcus with news that would change everything. The CDC finished analyzing the bioweapons. If even one of those packages had been opened, the death toll would have been catastrophic. Tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands. And it wouldn't have stopped at airports. The infection would have spread to cities, states, countries. Rex didn't just save the people in this terminal today. He saved the world. The story broke worldwide within hours. Every major news network covered it. Hero police dog stops bioterror attack. K9 officer saves thousands. German Shepherd foils airport conspiracy. Donald Pratt and 43 co-conspirators were charged with terrorism, kidnapping, and conspiracy to commit mass murder. The trials would take years, but the verdicts were never in doubt. The babies who'd been used as mules were all safely returned to their families. Counseling services were provided, medical care, support. Many of the parents publicly thanked Rex and Marcus for saving their children, Sarah and David. Mitchell, whose real names were Amanda and Robert Chen, were granted immunity in exchange for testimony. They'd been coerced into participation after their actual daughter was kidnapped. She was found 3 days later, safe, being held in a safe house in Nevada. Rex spent 2 weeks in intensive care. The anthrax exposure had damaged his lungs. The veterinarian said he'd never work as a detection dog again. But Marcus didn't care about that. He cared that his partner was alive. When Rex was finally released from the animal hospital, the entire Denver Police Department lined up to welcome him home. Officers saluted. K9 units barked in celebration. Children who'd been in the terminal that day held signs that said, "Thank you, Rex." Marcus knelt beside his partner in the parking lot. Rex's tail wagged weakly. The dog licked Marcus's face. "You're retired now," Marcus whispered. "No more work, no more danger. You've earned your rest." But the most emotional moment came when the parents of baby Emma, the first child Rex had saved, brought their daughter to meet him. Emma was 8 months old now, healthy, thriving. She'd been returned to her biological parents after DNA testing confirmed her identity. Her mother, Jennifer, knelt beside Rex with tears streaming down her face. "You saved my baby. You saved all of us. I don't know how to thank you." Rex sniffed the baby gently. Emma giggled and grabbed his ear. The German Shepherd's tail wagged faster. This was why he did what he did. Not for medals, not for recognition, for moments like this. Marcus knew that Rex's working days were over, but he also knew that his partner's legacy would inspire a new generation of K9 officers. What happened next would ensure that Rex's story and his methods would save lives for decades to come. 6 months later, the FBI and TSA announced the Rex Protocol, a new training program for airport detection dogs. Every K9 unit in the country would now be cross-trained in medical alerts specifically to detect distressed infants who might be unwitting mules. Marcus was promoted to K9 unit commander, but he spent most of his time at home with Rex, who officially retired with full honors. The German Shepherd received the Medal of Valor, the highest award given to police animals. He was inducted into the K9 Hall of Fame. His photo hung in airports across America, a reminder of the day one dog's instincts saved a nation. But Rex's favorite moments were simple ones: playing fetch in the backyard, sleeping in the sun, getting belly rubs from Marcus's kids. He'd been a warrior, a guardian, a hero, and now finally he could just be a dog. If Rex's story moved you, hit that subscribe button right now. Share this video with everyone you know, because the world needs to know that heroes come in all forms, sometimes with 4 paws and a heart bigger than we could ever imagine. Comment below with what you would name your hero dog, and let me know what story you want to hear next. Rex's legacy lives on, not just in training protocols and security measures, but in the countless lives saved by dogs who followed in his paw prints. Dogs who trusted their instincts, dogs who refused to give up, dogs who proved that sometimes the greatest heroes are the ones who never speak a word. They just act, they just protect, they just love. And that's why dogs will always be humanity's best friend, our guardian, our hero.